What's up, ladies and gentlemen? This is Cargo. And sorry for the wait on the video. I went on vacation, and of course I failed to notify you because I was so excited about my vacation that I just totally forgot. So sorry about that, but I'm sure you found plenty of other things to do in your meantime, like actually play Starhawk. Wait, that's a good thing to do in your free time. But anyways, I had to laugh because when I came back, I had like 10 more subscribers than I did before. Now, for somebody who's dealing in like between the 100 and 200 subscriber range, a 10 subscriber change is a pretty big difference. So that was funny that I was gone and I got a jump in 10 subscribers when I didn't put out any content. The same thing happened when I went to New Zealand earlier this year. I came back and I had like 15 new subscribers. So I think my goal should just be put out a video, go on vacation for a month, put out another video, then go on vacation again. It might work out well for me. You guys are funny, make me laugh. But anyways, as you can see in the background, I'm playing some more IVI. And we tried out a new location on the same map. It was on Dust again. But instead it was in the little forest thing. Whatever. I guess it would just be the forest. And it was really fun. I actually like this a lot more than doing it in the center. Although I can see... I enjoy both of them. But this one's a little bit more fun just because you have the walls and the trees. And I guess most of it just has to essentially looks more appealing. I'm all about the visuals, and it looks a lot better. And the map is set up a little bit differently, as in there's snipers on this map, so it's not just rifles and knives. You also have snipers, and so similar setup. You have two outposts on each end, one for each team. And then you also have two sniper towers, one on each end. And I don't know, it seemed to be pretty fun. As you can see, I was trying to snipe some guy who's being a dick in the background. There's always one of them, and I was just trying to show him up. But in the meantime, I got knifed. Didn't work out so hot for me. But yeah, IVI is still fun. There's not servers up all the time because I know some of you guys have been asking me if you can. Send me a friend request and play some IVI, and yes, you may certainly send me a friend request. If you do, make sure you say in the subject or the comments section that you are a subscriber or you saw one of my videos and you want a friend request. Otherwise, I'll turn you down. But yeah, and then if we play some IVI, I'll invite you to the game. Now, we don't play all the time. In fact, most of the time we probably don't play, but it's definitely a nice change of pace from now and again. But anyways, I guess this video isn't really going to talk about IVI. Just had it in the background because it's entertaining to watch. But just more as a renewed appeal to increase the availability of options for servers. Because IVI is just one example of a game mode, but there's so many other game modes and essentially problems out there. You know, there's the tank versus warhawk debate, and the grinder and the bruiser, and all sorts of things that people think are overpowered or not. And I would like those to get smoothed out by LBI in the future. But you know, you can fix a lot of these issues that people are having just by giving people more server options. Because if somebody doesn't like the perk bruiser, then all they have to do is say, well, these perks aren't allowed on this server. And so when you log onto the server, it'd say that these perks are allowed and these perks aren't. And so you'd know going in, and people could play the game modes that they wanted to without impeding others. So, I mean, if you like Bruiser, if you think it's fair, then just play in a server that has Bruiser on. Things like that. If you think that jetpacks are cheap, which I personally don't, I love jetpacks, but if you think jetpacks are cheap, then you can make a server with no jetpacks. And actually, you can kind of already do that already. That was a terrible example. I'm sorry, that was bad. But you know, just more customized loadout as far as what buildings you could have. So you could have just warthogs. Haha, we'll call them warthogs because that's easy to remember. Razorbacks and sidewinders, and nothing else. You know, just custom things, custom. And like I said earlier, that's gonna clear up a lot of the issues that people are having. A lot of the debates on the forums will be less relevant, because people can do what they want, and that's what creates the longevity of a game, is the customization and modding. And of course, it's a console, so you're not going to really get any mods. That's a PC thing. But the customization aspect is going to increase the longevity of the game. Because if people can play what they want and play with their friends how they want, then they're going to keep coming back. And it matters less if things are overpowered or underpowered because they can decide to use certain things and not use others. So it's important for LBI to recognize that for their game to be successful, they're going to have to add some of these options. Now, you could argue that not all these options were in Warhawk and it was still fairly successful, and you'd be right. You don't have to have tons of customization to make a successful game. There's tons of examples of games that haven't added extreme customization and still succeeded. But for a game like Starhawk that's been somewhat struggling with the sales, especially considering how many people actually own PS3s compared to Warhawk, it is just not, the sales have not been that great. This could potentially help out, and it's not a huge investment in time and money for LBI to add these options, and I think it'll be well worth it for them. So yeah, I mean, thank you for all the people who have been keeping threads that have talked about customizations on servers that you've wanted to have. I really appreciate that. I mean, I know you haven't been doing it for me. You've done it because these are things that you want to see, and so yeah, that's exactly what we need to do to get this. The more exposure we have on the forums, the more likely LBI is to change this. Now, unfortunately, I mean, I know it's not going to happen for a while because the next patch to drop is probably going to be the DLC. Well, I guess it's less of a patch, more of a, as I said, DLC. But if we can get the patch after that to be more server customization options, maybe we can retain or encourage players who have already quit Starhawk to come back and keep playing, because not only is the community enhanced by just lots of sales, but it's enhanced by people who love to play the game. And that's what makes games enjoyable, is if there's a strong community of players who will create new content, and by new content I mean like new game modes, just fun things to do in the game, and are willing to do that themselves as opposed to waiting for the developer to do that. So keep those threads high on the forums. If you have any new ideas for cool custom server options, make sure you post them. And as always, thanks for watching. Keep calm and super champion.